Hey y'all, today is my monthly series on what seeds I'm sowing in this particular month, and this particular month is April. So I'm going to be going through the seeds I'm going to be sowing indoors and outdoors. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up, and be sure to drop me a comment and let me know what seeds you will be sowing this month. Okay, I started this series in January. I've done January, February, March, and of course now April, to kind of show people what I'm doing each month. I find that a lot of people struggle when they go to a nursery or order online because it's hard to know what seeds to plant when. And that can be a little confusing because a lot of nurseries will bring in a lot of seeds that aren't appropriate at that time of the year. So basically, I'm just showing what seeds I'm going to be sowing for my own purposes at this time of the year on my own small plot of land as just a basic suburban homeowner. Okay, you can see my seed collection over here. It has grown quite a bit. I now have 2 containers. Each container has, this is for photos, I'll drop the link below in the video description, but each container is labeled with whatever variety of seed it has, and everything is kind of organized by types of seeds. I don't have this in any type of alphabetical order or anything like that. It's literally just random. I haven't really figured a better situation than this at this point in time, just to basically label whatever the seed is and work from there. I have been in high seed production the last few months, and so now my seed production is slowing down a little bit. I am getting ready to plant hot weather seeds, and then basically in the next few months I'll start planting seeds, indoor sowing, and I'll be prepping for annuals that I'm going to grow during the fall and winter season. But let's talk about what I'm going to be growing this particular month of April. Okay, so I do want to also talk about what seeds that I'm sowing once I pull all those out. So I actually keep this kind of double basket. It's a handmade basket by my mother-in-law. And I keep seeds that I've already sown and then seeds that I want to sow that I haven't necessarily gotten to. And then I have, like, you know, the ones I've already sown, I know that I can put all of these up, and then I know that here are the ones that I still want to work with. Okay, so this month I'm going to be starting a wide variety of blooms, or a wide variety of seeds. I'm going to be starting cress, and I'm going to be starting these in pots outside in my greenhouse. So I'm not going to be doing indoor sowing this particular month. So I'm going to be sowing cress in outdoor sowing in pots in the greenhouse, so they're not going directly into the ground. I'm also going to be starting a series of sunflower seeds, particularly pro-cut seeds, sunflower seeds. Let me pull those really quick. Okay, so I'm going to be starting these also in little containers in my greenhouse and letting them kind of come to fruition and then planting them in place. I'm going to be looking at white night sunflowers. These are all pro-cut. Then I'm going to look at, I'm also going to look at gold light. I'm also going to be growing gold light, red lemon bicolor, pro-cut red, and pro-cut white light. So those are the pro-cuts I'm going to be growing. Once again, I'm going to be starting them in seed in their own little containers in my greenhouse. I'm not sowing them direct at this point in time, because I'm still growing things in the areas where they're eventually going to go. This is a great seed time of year to be sowing lots of sunflower seeds. So even if I didn't list your particular sunflower variety, feel free to get your sunflowers direct into the ground right now. Now is a great time to get them direct into the ground. It's warm enough and we're getting lots of rain in my area. As a reminder, this is Zone 8A in North Texas. Okay, I will say that I did not have very good germination on the double click cosmos that I started direct seeding about a month ago. So I do think I'm going to start some of those in some seed pots in my greenhouse. The reason I'm going to do that is because since I didn't have very good germination, just tossing them out on the ground, I want to be very selective and I really want to baby them to make sure I get some for this spring. I'm also going to be starting in containers in the greenhouse, in little seed containers in the greenhouse. I'm going to be starting 2 types of zinnias, and they are carpet zinnias, meaning they grow lower to the ground and they do a big, huge, massive flush of blooms. And I'm going to go ahead and start them this way so that hopefully in about 4 to 6 weeks, I can get them planted out for my summer landscape. I'm going to be doing Jazzy Red and Persian carpet zinnias. These are great, easy to grow. Looking forward to working with those. I have already started some grasses, including bunny tail, but you can still start those at this point in time. I'm also going to be starting an ornamental wheat called black tip, and I like to grow these and get these started now so that I can harvest them for arrangements in the fall, and they are beautiful. I'm also going to be starting another ornamental grass called Frosted Explosion. Now, all of these I'm going to be starting in seed pots in the greenhouse. So I'm going to be sowing them in little pots, but I'm not going to be starting them direct sowing them into the landscape, but I'm also not going to be starting them indoors. So right now it's warm enough to just get all of these seeds started and have them in the greenhouse outside. And then I'm also going to start a feather top ornamental grass as well. This one should be pretty. All of these ornamental grasses I'm growing as cut flowers or for cut arrangements. And so I'll be tucking them into different places in the landscape just to add some height and movement, but then I can cut on them as I wish. And then I'm also going to be starting a light lime spray millet, which is also an ornamental grass. In addition, I'm going to be starting a couple of varieties of corn. In the corn, I will be direct sowing into a raised bed. So I'm going to be starting Burpee's Triple Crown White Hybrid. And then these, this particular one I'm going to be growing to eat. They're 75 days to harvest. I'm also going to be growing a Japonica striped corn as well. They're about 85 days to harvest. And these are ideal for drying and grinding into cornmeal, which I'm not going to be doing, but I am growing them because they have uniquely striped leaves that are very eye-catching, and I thought they might be cool for arrangements as well. And then finally, I'm going to be growing glass gem corn, and this will also be grown for arrangements. It's maturity day. It doesn't say on this package, but it'll be fun to get these started. These will all be direct sow. Now, I've already started a variety of zinnias, so I will be direct sowing a couple of more varieties of zinnias. I will be working on the Queen Lime series, specifically Queen Lime Orange, Queen Lime Red, and I think that's all of the Queen Limes that I'm growing this year. Yes. Okay, so I'm also going to be growing a couple of other varieties, including Candy Cane, Zinnia. I'm going to be growing some of the giant double flowered Canary Bird Zinnia. And I think I'll do some of the Cherry Queen Zinnia as well. So it is a great time to direct sow zinnias out into your landscape at this point in time. Just make sure that when you put them out there, I like to toss them out before a series of rainstorms. I think that's always really good. But make sure if you do toss them out there that they are consistently watered on a daily basis. You want the seeds to get wet so that they can germinate properly. Another great warm flower to start preparing is a celosia. So celosia, I've done a couple of different ways. I've direct sowed it, just tossed it onto the ground and went with that. And then I've also done it in containers. This year, I'm gonna do it in small seed containers in my greenhouse. I'm gonna work from there because I did a lot of celosia last year. It dropped its own seeds into place, and I have a feeling I'm gonna have to do a lot of pulling those seeds back. So pulling up those seedlings to kind of thin them out so that they can grow properly. So this year I'm going to just be doing them in little containers and growing them in the greenhouse, and then I will plant them in place. Specifically, I'm going to be focusing on fruit punch variety from Floret of celosia, which I think will be really fun, and flamingo feather celosia from Floret as also. as well. I also want to grow more of the variegated coxcomb / celosia that I grew last year and I loved it. It's a very cheery, happy bloom. I also want to do some of the tornado red and the orange peach coxcomb. So these will be really fun. Coxcomb and celosia are interchangeable. They refer to the same variety, or same bloom, I should say. I also started Canterbury Bells last year. They are a biennial. And so this year I finally have bloom stalks coming up. I'm very excited to have them for cut flower arrangements. Since they are a biennial, now that they're blooming, this will be their last year. So I want to go ahead and start a new series that I can plant out to the garden this fall. They are hardy annuals in my area, so they will overwinter and then hopefully give me another round of blooms next spring. We'll see. That depends on how that goes. So I will be starting these in seed containers in the greenhouse. This is also a really good time of year to start some additional hot weather seeds, including amaranthus. Now, my amaranthus reseeds itself every year, so once I plant it at one time, I'm good for years and years to come. So I haven't really had to stress about that. The varieties I grow, I have a red amaranthus, which is absolutely beautiful. It has dark leaves. Let me also pull out this amaranthus. Another type of amaranthus that I'm probably going to start from seed, a couple of varieties, and I'll start those in seed containers in the greenhouse. And both of these are from Floret. One is called Mira, and the second one is called Autumn Touch. And I'll be starting both of those. I've also grown Coral Fountain and Love Lies Bleeding Amaranthus. Coral Fountain was absolutely beautiful. And then the amaranthus, the red amaranthus, the Love Lies Bleeding Heart, is a stunning one as well. Both of these are great blooms to grow for cut flowers. Very unusual, very different. Some other flowers that you can start are cosmos are really, really good. Let me get my list. Eucalyptus, if you're growing eucalyptus from seed, that's something I want to try for next year, but now's a really good time to start that in seed pots as well. You can also do marigolds, cornflower, sunflower, zinnias. There's a lot of warm weather plants where now is the time to get those started, whether indoors or outdoors. So that is very exciting as well. I definitely still have some more transplants that I need to move outside, including a lot of snapdragons, a lot of foxglove, which are looking really nice. I've had really great results with yarrow, which is a perennial that I started. I started several varieties of echinacea. That was in last month. You can still start all of these as well. I would suggest doing them in seed pots and either growing them inside and then transplanting outside, or putting them in seed pots in a greenhouse to kind of monitor the temperature, keep them nice and warm so that they will germinate and be ready to go out into your landscape. As you can see, my production has slowed down at this particular month. I still have lots of really great seedlings that did really grow from March that need to get transplanted out into the gardenscape so that I can actually make more room in my greenhouse and have more room for actually growing additional seeds. Mailman. My area has been particularly dry. We're definitely going through a drought, and when we are getting rain, it's a torrential rain. So none of that soft spring rain coming through. Everybody's driving by right now. There goes the Schwann's guy. Okay, none of that soft spring rain coming through. It has been pretty intense weather with tornado watches and warnings, which has been pretty intense this year. But, you know, I feel really good about my seed production. If you've watched any of my seedling videos that have been where I've been transferring seedlings out into the actual new raised beds, you can see that I've done a lot, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of seedlings, and I've had just a really stellar success with them this year, which I'm really excited about. But I am very excited about that I'm shutting down my indoor seed setup for now and moving to outdoor seed production. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Drop me a comment below. Tell me what seeds you're going to be starting this particular month, whether indoors, outdoors, or within a greenhouse. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.